He was supposed to be the first football hero of the Aquarius generation, a new breed with wild ideas and far-out hair.
I consider myself a hippie in all the good ways.
Tim Rosevich was less a hardcore hippie than hard-nosed tackler. Though it is true the long-haired linebacker was never mistaken for the crew-cut in cleats that was Jim Taylor, the guts of the dynastic Packers' mighty running game. If the Packers of the 1960s were almost impossible to beat, it's because the Hall of Famer was impossible to bring down. He was the business end of Lombardi's power sweep.
What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
In fact, it was Taylor's touchdown that put Green Bay out in front to stay in Super Bowl I. The only team to ever beat Lombardi in the postseason were the 1960 Eagles. Tommy McDonald scored Philly's first touchdown that day at Franklin Field because McDonald the Madman had a method.
But I would scratch my hands against the concrete here, and I would try and get him very sensitive.
It worked. When he played, McDonald had the best hands in the NFL. When he retired, he had the best Hall of Fame speech.
Go!
George Taliaferro didn't make it to the Hall of Fame, but he did make history, becoming the first African-American ever drafted in the NFL. Proof that if opportunity knocks, you have to seize it. Opportunity Knocks was NFL Film's go-to highlight title anytime Chuck Knox got a new coaching gig. He was always winning, leading 3 different franchises to division titles. Tony Sperano only had 1 title as a head coach, but he had a winning way and an unbeatable philosophy.
Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't. Never, okay? Never let anybody tell you you can't, because you can't.
Warren Wells led the AFL in touchdown receptions twice, including his epic season of '69, when he also led the league in receiving yards and yards per catch, hauling them in at an astounding 26.8 yards per. We'll miss his speed, his teammate Billy Cannon's cockiness, the hard running of Bill Brown, and the stopping power of Isaiah Robertson.
Steps up, unloads over the middle, intercepted by Robinson.
Is rocking it your way the secret? Worked for Seahawks owner Paul Allen, who followed his bliss, even if his Twitter following wasn't that large.
I fired up my Twitter account now, so
good.
I'm never going to give you competition in number Paul.
I don't know how that ever got that big. Like, I mean, it just...
Bill's got like 1.5 million followers. Bill Gates.
True, but Bill Gates doesn't have a Lombardi trophy or a whole city's thanks. Tom Benson knew the rapture of the Lombardi in his arms and the Superdome turf under his feet. We'll miss his boogie. Bob McNair hobnobbed with presidents, but it was his father's voice he cherished.
My father said, "Your word's your bond." Another thing that he always told me was you can't go wrong by doing what's right. And I believe that to be true.
Alex Spanos knew where his happiness was.
The greatest thrill in 20 years was in 1994 when I turned the ball club over to my son Dean and he took us to the Super Bowl.
NFL titles are hard to come by. Receiver Dorn Dibble was there for the Lions' last one in 1957, while head coach Jack Patera was on the sidelines for the Seahawks' first ever win.
Bradshaw firing for Cunningham, a Pittsburgh touchdown. How about that?
Benny Cunningham was twice a Super Bowl champion. We'll miss his joy, Chris Gedney's wry smile, Wes Hopkins' uber athleticism, and Bill Fralick's Herculean strength. Keith Fahnhorst knew about power too. He was the 49ers' right tackle on the play that changed the course of NFL history.
How is this one going to end? He rolls right, looking to throw, and he throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Like Dwight.
So famous is that play, It's simply called the catch. But there were so many others that Dwight Clark retired as the Niners' all-time leader in receptions.
You're the world champ. You are. You are. You're the world.
Besides his 2 Super Bowl rings, Clark wore his love for the game and his life happily.
I just remembered saying when I retired that, you know, I could die now, my life would be complete because I've done so many things I had no idea I was going to get to do.